Hello, I'm Bernie Hayes. Today's guest is Vivian Watt, and we'll be talking about a tribute to Katherine Dunham today on The Bernie Hayes Show. Welcome back. As I promised you, my guest is Vivian E. Watt. Vivian, how are you?
I'm doing really well. I'm up this morning just because of you.
You're here with us. This is wonderful. You know, and you're married to a very dear friend of mine, yes. Lauren Watt.
How many years? 43. We've been married 43 years.
I've known him almost that long.
Stop it.
Yeah,
Stop it.
That's the truth. And we're talking about Katherine Dunham. It says a tribute to the influence of Katherine Dunham. Not a tribute to Katherine Dunham, a tribute to the influence of Katherine Dunham, dancer, choreographer, anthropologist, humanitarian, and social activist. And most importantly, it's written, directed, and choreographed by Vivian Watt. By you. Are you in the play also?
I'm hoping that I won't have to be in the play, but it may be that I will have to because this is a passion of mine.
Sure.
And because it's a passion, I'm writing it, I'm directing it, I'm choreographing it, but I also have that energy. I want to be a part of it because I experienced most of what we're talking about in here.
Wow.
So, yeah.
So how did you write, direct, and choreograph a play to the tribute to Katherine Dunham? That's quite a bit.
Okay, long story short or short story long?
Long story long.
Long story long. I am a product of Katherine Dunham. Actually, I'm a product first of Pelagia G. Wren, who was the main instructor here. You know, she was actually the first African-American to dance in the Muni chorus.
Pelagia, yeah.
And so she would always take dancers or young people under her wing.
Sure.
And she did it. When I took classes with her, I never once knew that you had to pay for dance. She was that kind of person, and she picked me up. I grew up in Webster Groves and Pruitt Igoe, and I attended Webster University. So this group came to Webster one day, and they had these drums, and the dancers were doing this, and their hips were undulating, and they were isolating. And I asked, I said, well, what group is this? And initially, nobody wanted to say or knew. And I walked up to the director, and it happened to be a man named Archie Savage. And I said, well, where do you all dance or work? He said, we're in East St. Louis with the Katherine Dunham Performing Arts Training Center. And I said, well, can I go? How do I get there? And he said, well, you got to come to East St. Louis, and we have classes. And so I initially used to walk over the bridge to go to East St. Louis from downtown St. Louis. Sure. Because I didn't drive, wasn't old enough, I was 17. And when I went over there, the energy, the people, the ambience, it's hard to describe it. It made you just want to be a part of that community.
Sure. Eugene Redmond and everybody else over there. And Walker.
Professor Redmond, her assistants, Janelle Stovall, Ruth Ann Taylor, Robert Lee, all of these names of people that we could throw out who have been through there. And so having said that,
Reggie, all of them.
Man, and I fell in love. That was such an important time of my life. Not only did I meet my husband there, but half of the cast that's in here are the original Performing Arts Training Center and Katherine Dunham Performing Arts Center teachers, participants, seminar instructors. It just goes the whole gamut of people that are involved in this production. So I'm doing it because I wanted to make sure that Miss Dunham's legacy is carried on not just by a group over here or a group over there. Wherever it can be spread is where it needs to go.
Now, it's going to be held 3 different days. Thursday, June 29th.
Yes.
Friday, June 30th. And Saturday, July 1st.
Yes.
At the Prince of Peace Missionary Baptist Church.
Beautiful space.
9350 Natural Bridge.
Yes.
Okay. This is wonderful. Tickets are how much?
There are 3 tiers. So general admission is $10, $15, and VIP is $25.
Yes.
Beautiful flyer. I think we saw it already.
Yeah.
And it's done by one of our actresses who also does PR.
Who was that?
I don't know her name. I just know she does it.
She does it. The one who does it. Huh?
Yes, most of the time.
Sure.
But it is Prince of Peace, and it's a beautiful space. Initially, we couldn't find an appropriate space,
Right.
but our stage manager and one of the actors attend Piece of Prince. And they allowed us to come in and look at the space, and then they allowed us to come in and do our production there.
That's wonderful.
Beautiful space.
And we tried to get this at Emerson Theater for a long, long time on the campus of Harris State University. It's a call to conscience, interactive theater for social change. Fannie Libby and then so many others. I've been working with Call to Conscience for so many years. How can we get tickets and good information?
Okay, so right now the easiest way is to either email Fannie at fannie.c2c, which stands for Call to Consciousness, .gmail.com. Or you could just as well go to Eventbrite and plug in Katherine Dunham, and you can get tickets there also.
That's great.
The shows are 7 p.m. on Thursday and Friday, and it's a 2 p.m. matinee on July 1st, that's Saturday. And hopefully this will be something that we can take to other venues. That's wonderful. So it's not just a one-time shot. I think it's really going to be interesting to see the approach that I've used to do this, to do the influences.
Why did you choose Katherine Dunham?
Well, I figured like this: if it hadn't been for Katherine Dunham, I would never have found my rhythm.
Okay.
I would never have found myself, and I would never have gotten to be a part of an international community. That is so important. Before I went to Dunham to take classes, I had never met anybody from Brazil or Senegal or Peru. I had never met any of those people. So when I saw this young dancer, Emilio, and the way he was talking and moving, fell in love with Savio Lobo da Silva from Rio de Janeiro. We had never heard of capoeira, which Miss Dunham introduced us to. So, are you getting ready to do some capoeira? I just saw you for a minute getting ready to do some Jenga. So, okay.
No, not me. I was just so interested in how you how did you choreograph? Did you use some of the moves from Katherine Dunham's movies or her stage productions or some of the film that you've seen of Katherine?
There's such a plethora of information, interviews online, YouTube, Library of Congress, East St. Louis Monitor, East St. Louis Journal, the St. Louis Post-Dispatch, the St. Louis Globe Democrat, the Haitian History Channel. Yeah. So not only did I know the overall of Dunham technique, I was I was honored enough to be a teacher at some of the seminars. I was honored enough to be a principal dancer. So I was looking this up and I said, well, how do I want to approach this? There are people here that contributed so much to Miss Dunham, but they've not been acknowledged. Her master instructors, she brought them from around the world to come and live in East St. Louis, Illinois, St. Louis, Missouri, to teach. People that have toured 50-plus countries came to East St. Louis to teach us. And having did that, I said, well, let me write about what she did there with PATC, KDCPA, and then let's hear the memories and reflections from those people. So if they're going to be talking about what they went through in the process, so it's not going to be formal all the time.
Dr. Eugene Redmond and Charlotte Otley, they were very, very close to Katherine. They were very protective of her in the later years in East St. Louis, Illinois.
Yes.
And Katherine used to be quite a frequent guest on my radio program, and I learned so much about her. And I used to watch the movies in stormy weather and all those other
Cabin in the Sky.
Yeah. We're going to take a very short break here. Vivian Watt, who is the director, producer, and writer for the tribute to the influence of Katherine Dunham, dancer, choreographer, anthropologist, humanitarian, and social activist. Vivian Watt. We'll be right back with Vivian Watt after this.
Will you help New Life Evangelistic Center get back into 1411 Locust Street? Your tax-deductible gifts are urgently needed at this particular time, and there's many different ways that we're working to get back in that facility. One of the ways is to continue to inform the community through the Bernie Hayes Show and other programs. And if you haven't supported the Bernie Hayes Show and the work of New Life Evangelistic Center, please do it now. It's urgently needed. Your gifts are deeply appreciated. So many homeless people are waiting to get back into 1411 Locust, and so many others need the direct help that New Life is trying to provide at this time, but it's facing some real financial needs, and that's why your gift is very, very important. And to express our thankfulness for all of you that are sharing your gifts, we want to send you this special Bernie Hayes cup. It's my wife's favorite drinking cup. She loves to drink out of this cup, and this is actually the only coffee cup she wants to use is the Bernie Hayes cup. There's something very special about this cup, and we'll send it to each one of you that share a gift of $25 or more with the New Life Evangelistic Center and ask for your Bernie Hayes cup. It's P.O. Box 473, St. Louis, Missouri, that's 63166. Your gift will not only help us get back into the 1411 Locust building, but will help our first responders that are on the streets, the first responders that we have out there day after day, night after night. It will help keep our women and children in our safe houses, continue to keep our training programs open, our worldwide mission work, whether it's in India, Haiti, Africa, so many different things the New Life Evangelistic Center is doing. In addition to NLEC TV, tell your family and friends about it. Put it on your phone. Put on your get that phone app on all your friends' phones so that they can all see the Bernie Hayes Show or go to 24.2. It's your prayers and gifts that make all of this possible. I thank God for those of you who continue to pray for the reopening of 1411 Locust and the work of New Life Evangelistic Center. There's so many obstacles we're facing as we try to help the homeless, but we're going to continue to give it to God. We're going to continue to pray. We're going to continue to work, but we need you to partner with us. So again, it's New Life Evangelistic Center, P.O. Box 473, St. Louis, Missouri, that's 63166. I thank God for each one of you that are praying, caring, and sharing.
Welcome back. My guest is Vivian Watt. She is the dancer, choreographer, anthropologist, humanitarian, and social activist, describing a tribute to the influences of Katherine Dunham. Vivian Watt, written, directed, and choreographed by Vivian Watt. Tell us a little bit about Vivian E. Watt.
Okay. Vivian E. Watt is a product of Dolores Sanderson and Sylvester Hayes Watson. And once upon a time, she lived in Webster Groves, Missouri, and wanted to be a math teacher. And unfortunately, I found out that I was much better at being an exuberant person. So my name means, Vivian means vibrant, alive, vivacious. And so I don't know if my mother named me that to become that, or I was like that and she named me Vivian.
I understand.
But having said that, I went to school in St. Louis. I'm a product of the St. Louis Public Schools, Deshaun High School, Pelagia Wren, Ballet Jazz Tap. And then I decided that maybe I should go and try out for this really fabulous place called the Muni, St. Louis Municipal Opera. And so I went there. They were doing the show, Showboat. And we went there, and this is why I so appreciate Miss Dunham. When we were doing it, there was a song in there, Cotton Blossom, and it said the N-word. Mm-hmm. And I said, no, I can't say that. I can't do that.
Sure. We
got to redo this. And so for that particular production of it, they changed it to Negroes. Okay. All work on the Mississippi. Mm-hmm. Because I told them I can't do this. And so I did the St. Louis Muni. And then I was very blessed to meet another individual, Ron Himes, and I did 30-plus performances at the Black Rep as a dancer, actress, choreographer, touring, intern manager, all of those kinds of things. Then I met another very special person, Cecilia Nadal, yes, and Hitana Productions. Mm-hmm. And so I was her artistic director for many years.
Her daughter's been very much, I guess, on here too.
Yes,
yeah,
yes.
Yeah.
And for
and
political, yes. So, and Cecilia had this cross-cultural approach to the arts. Mm-hmm. And through her, I met people, again, from different countries, China. We did a big show at Powell Symphony Hall. People like Ruby Dee and Ossie Davis came through that I had an opportunity to work with. Who did we do? We also did, the whole China National Orchestra came over to St. Louis, to the Powell Symphony Hall, and we performed there. Then I was very also blessed to work at Better Family Life. Is their artistic director. Malika and Deborah Ahmed. Yeah. And Miranda Jones, who also, her mother, Ann Walker, is a product of Dunham. And Miranda Jones is now the CEO of Little Bit Foundation. Mm-hmm. And that's one of the influences of Katherine Dunham. the influences that now happen are professors who are at universities who were once students in the Dunham class.
Sure.
And I think the other thing we need to remember is in that list of what Miss Dunham has done, she made sure that we had a curriculum of academic content where we had to learn other languages, learn about anthropology, countries, know where you were in this world and how you relate to it.
Dr. Katherine Dunham, actually, what it is.
Stop it here.
Dr.
You
Katherine
better,
Dunham, yeah.
yes.
I understand how Stephanie Kushma is inside, and Ann Walker participating. Tell us about their participation.
Yes. So I had this drama went through my mind. I was like, okay, so do I get somebody who physically resembles Miss Dunham, or do I get someone who understands her concept? And so I decided to combine that, and I put a Facebook. I'm not a good Facebooker, but I put a Facebook thing out and said, anybody who wants to do memories, reflections, or anything, and I called certain people. Ann Walker was there in 1967. So she was one of the first. Stephanie Kushma is a mover and a shaker, and she is a historian. She teaches at St. Louis University. Yes. Their Black History film, if I don't say that correctly.
She's in film, yeah. She's a filmmaker.
So I wanted to get people who had an interest in some commitment. So Stephanie is going to do Miss Dunham, Katherine Mary Dunham, and Ann Walker is going to be Ann Walker.
That's wonderful.
Yes.
I mean, you can't get any better than that.
No, and I mean, it's about a cast of about 15 or 16 people. We have percussionists who are with the Drum Warrior Ensemble, and this young group just placed in the Teen Talent Competition at the Fox Theater. And out of 142 groups, they were in the top 14. They're in the show. Then we have some veterans with Call to Conscious. I can't say last names, but I will say Sequoia Mason. My daughter is going to be assistant stage manager. Soraya Watt is also a performer actress.
Is Linda Smith going to participate?
No, she won't be in this particular production. But I do have Thomasina Clark, who is going to help with the visual media production.
Wonderful. Is Thomasina going to sing?
Oh, no, she's not going to sing, but she has so many qualities.
Oh, I know.
She has so many qualities. And she also, by the way, is a product of the SIU, Edwardsville, East St. Louis campus, where all of this happened. She went to school there also. And there's so many people who are involved in this who have known each other for almost 50 years. And everyone has told me that this is overdue because it talks a lot about those master instructors that Ms. Dunham brought to teach us who may be lost in history if we don't document our history. Do
you emphasize the fact how Katherine Dunham chose to live in East St. Louis, Illinois?
You know what? I had a line in the play that said, Katherine Dunham chose to come to East St. Louis. And two people had a moment at the rehearsal table saying she didn't choose to come to East St. Louis. She was, what was the word? She was asked to come here. She was in Carbondale first.
Yes.
Then she was in Alton.
Right.
And then she came to the campus of the East St. Louis campus. So
SIUE.
Yes, SIUE. And it was crazy because we didn't know if when we got there that the E stood for Edwardsville. Yeah. Also, we thought it just said East St. Louis. Okay, so it was SIUE. And that moment changed so many people's lives. And people would say, well, where do you dance? We say, on Broadway. The address was 4th and Broadway.
Right.
And so we danced on Broadway.
To bring a negative note to this, the Katherine Dunham Museum there in East St. Louis, Illinois, was a wonderful, wonderful place, and Katherine Dunham did all she could to preserve all this wonderful history from Haiti and all around the world. And yet and still, people were breaking in to that museum. They had no idea who Katherine Dunham was, apparently, or what she was preserving.
Or her contributions, not at all.
So tell us about that, in your opinion.
And it's interesting because I recently in my research, went to East St. Louis, and I lived in East St. Louis on 5th and Missouri, where all the dancers stayed for a while. Sure. And Miss Dunham had 3 houses, 3 residences also. And when I went to East St. Louis, I got lost because none of the landmarks that were there at that time, Miss Dunham contributed to the economy of East St. Louis.
Of course. Because
all of those students that came in had to go out somewhere and eat, live, drive, get gas, all of those things. And that was lost. But I drove down to the museum. It is now a gated area, and no one knows what the building is anymore.
Yeah.
But once upon a time, we would do tours with youth who would come there and they would be able to see things from Senegal or from Japan or even from Haiti or Jamaica or Trinidad, all of those places, you know. But now it's closed off, but hopefully funding is coming through to either rehab her residencies or to do more to put more resources into the actual Dynamic Museum, which is what it's called, the Dunham Dynamic Museum.
This is wonderful. The party is going to be held at the Prince of Peace Missionary Baptist Church, 9350 Natural Bridge. And it's going to be Thursday, June 29th, Friday, June 30th, and Saturday, July 1st. Then July 1st you said that Saturday has two performances.
No, we're not doing
one.
2 shows Saturday like the Black Rub. No,
Okay.
AG.
This is just a matinee.
Just one matinee.
Okay, and that's at 2:30.
At 2 o'clock.
2 o'clock in the afternoon.
Yes, please.
And tickets are
$10, $15, and $25.
a tribute to the influences of Katherine Dunham, written, directed, choreographed by Vivian E. Our guest today. And we want to take a very, very short break and remind you that we're New Life Evangelistic Center, 2428 Woodson Road in Oakland, Missouri, and we'll be back with Vivian Watt after this.
As we feel the darkness pressing in upon us, both personal needs and needs in the world, society as a whole, it's easy for us to get depressed. And when we're depressed and negative and feeling hopeless, we're not going to be able to help anyone. That's why I daily have to draw strength from the Word of God. That's why I have to go on walks in the midst of the wonders of God's works. And that's why I have to be able to see something that's worked for many, many years in my life, is that Jesus Christ is the same yesterday, today, and forever, that He's with us always, even to the end of the world, and that we can be a light, letting His love and power flow in us and through us in a cold, dark world. There are people hurting out there. There's people that are crying out to God at this particular moment in the midst of their desperation. Can we be led by the Holy Spirit to them? Can we believe God to reach out and let His love flow through us and by faith help them meet their needs? That's the challenges that the Lord gives us in His Word. Experience the joy of really helping somebody else and letting the light and love of Christ shine in you and through you.
Our Black History subject for today is legendary dancer, choreographer, and anthropologist Katherine Dunham, who was born June 22nd, 1909. In 1940, she formed the Katherine Dunham Dance Company, which became the premier facility for training dancers. Alumni include Perfect Hit, Marlon Brando, and Julie Belafonte. She directed the Katherine Dunham School of Dance in New York and was artist-in-resident at Southern Illinois University. She was called the matriarch of black dance. Dunham accepted a position at Southern Illinois University in East St. Louis in the 1960s, and during her tenure, she secured funding for the Performing Arts Training Center. She was a recipient of Kennedy Center's Awards Honor and many other honors and a star on the St. Louis Walk of Fame. Dunham passed away on Sunday, May 21st, 2006, at the age of 96. Katherine Dunham.
Behind me is the New Life Evangelistic Center administrative offices in Overland, Missouri. And this is where we shoot our shows for our worship shows and the Here's Help Network. And it's also where Zakid Baroudi and Bernie Hayes shoot their shows. You can find all of these shows at the New Life Evangelistic Center app, the NLEC TV app. You can also access them on your tablet or on your computer. And this is how you can stay up to date with all the things that New Life Evangelistic Center is doing. There are so many different programs that we've got going on, and God is doing many exciting things through partners like you. So if you want to support the work that New Life is doing, then please access and give through the app. You can go online at nlecstl.org or give us a call at 314-421-3020. Again, 314-421-3020. But this is the best way to get plugged into the amazing work that New Life is doing through people like you. And so there is something for you to get involved in today. And we are so thankful for our partners. Only through the grace of God and your gift are we able to bless others today.
Welcome back. My guest is Vivian Watt, and she is the choreographer, the writer, director of the brand new tribute to the influences of Katherine Dunham. Ms. Watt, anything you want to talk about that we haven't talked about this morning?
Yeah, and everything that we said, I think for me, the eye-opening experience has been that I could not figure out what to include and what not to include because there's so much out there on Miss Dunham, but it's in one context. It's in the interviews, and it's in the playbills that she used to have, and all of the posters. And so I think for me, I'm a little daunted because there are people in this area who also participated, who knew that, but they've been helping me and giving me information to make sure that we're doing this as authentically and with as much clarity as we can, and with as much integrity, and fidelity.
Why should the persons watching, viewing us right now, want to come to see this?
Because it's going to be good.
All right.
Because it's going to be good. And it will tell you things about Miss Dunham that you did not know. Okay. Miss Dunham had a really good humor. Sure. I wasn't this close to her, but I had the opportunity to meet her many times, to sit in her classes. And if you come, not only will you know about Miss Dunham, but you'll hear some of the intricate, not secrets, but the moments that we had that made us laugh and made us still be friends 50 years later. Yeah.
Katherine, tell us about what it's going to be and where it's going to be.
Okay, Prince of Peace Missionary Church is at 9350 Natural Bridge. The shows will be the 30th, June 29th, June 30th, and July 1st. 29th and 30th are 7 p.m. The July 1st is at 2 p.m.
And we can get tickets through?
Tickets are from fanny.c2c.gmail.com or on www.eventbrite.com.
And the price of the tickets are?
Okay, $10, $15, and $25.
Right. How did you feel when you when you got the assignment of writing, choreographing, and directing this particular venue?
Oh, I felt good. I just tell people all the time, don't call me until after 9:30 a.m. That's all. Because I'm up all night writing and trying to figure out what movements, what numbers, her repertoire, doing things that I don't... Okay, how do I do this? Everybody who's a Dunham dancer is not a Dunham dancer. Okay. Everybody wants to be a Dunham dancer.
Is it possible we might see you in the performances?
You have to pay extra for that.
But your experience.
But it's a possibility.
Sure.
Because I'm so passionate about this. This is a passion of mine. This is something I've always wanted to do, and I appreciate Call to Conscious doing this. Fanny Levy giving me the opportunity to do this.
Well, Call to Conscious really choose their projects very, very carefully. And the choose Katherine Dunham, I'm sure, had to be very, very special to them and also to you.
Well, Call to Conscious also creates original works, and a lot of their work deals with social issues and finding solutions to them. So even gun violence, poverty, sexual abuse, gender identification.
And they recently did a thing on Martin Luther King.
Yes, and the Thelonious Monk at the History Museum, Say It Flow. Mm-hmm. So those kinds of things are shows that need to have public support. Precisely. Right, so that they don't disappear. So that we are not just boxed in with commercial work.
I see that MAC and RAC, MAC, Missouri Arts Council and Regional Arts Commission, and Thrive, and the KISS Foundation, who are very instrumental in helping.
Funders, supporters,
East Bay, is that community?
I'm sorry?
East Bay Community, yeah.
Yes.
Mm-hmm. East Bay Community. This is wonderful. So once again, tell us when it's going to be and what it's going to be. And why we should attend.
You should attend because you'll have a great experience. You'll learn a lot. You'll feel good when you leave. You'll feel that you're part of the community. It happens June 29th, June 30th, July 1st. It is a 7 o'clock show on the 30th Friday. It is a 2 p.m. matinee, and it's $10, $15, and $25. Affordable.
And Vivian Watt, I can't tell you how much I appreciate you coming by to see it today. And you are the director, the choreographer, and the writer. A tribute to the influences of Katherine Dunham. Thank you so much for being with us.
Thank you so much.
Thank each and every one of you for supporting us here at the New Life Evangelistic Center. I'm Bernie Hayes. Have a great day. Until next time.